Alright, though. It's art! As we wait for art program to load. There we go. I'll update my I'll update GIMP later. Make sure it's working properly. Yes, it is. Alright, alright. I forgot that we did some music with this. Where's the interact button with this again? Interact. There we go. Enjoy some tunes. Oh. I gotta open this. I want this. Can I open all of these at the same time? No, I can't. Alright, that's fine. We'll just open everything else manually. See me in a bit. Alright. Oh yeah, Binks, you're owed a treat. Yeah, I hear that meow. You're very excited. Alright. Let's get the full sheet. It's not in this folder. I hate organizing stuff. Is it this one? Yes, it is. Timespinner. The Matty sprite. There we go. That should be fine. Alright, so there's also another thing I'm going to be opening, and that is I grabbed some reference material for tail animation from our good friends at Sonic Bullshit. Did I put it in this folder? I did not. Did I leave it in my downloads folder? I did. So somebody extended the Tails sheet from Sonic 2 to work with like Sonic 3 stuff and other things, and it has tail frame animations very specifically on their own, which can give me an idea for how much I can get away with moving in like a single frame to have like a lot of nice wiggly movement. Look at all that wiggly movement. Look at it all. It's great. I am going to just wipe the sweat off of me for a second. So I will be right back, and then we'll get into it. There we go. So one thing that I mentioned in the start for the stream today is that we might be talking about some heavy topics. I guess it's time to get around to that. They're not easy to talk about, but sometimes you gotta. As I give myself my music. Alright, so we got like... How many frames does that look like? 5. We're going to be ballparking a lot of this. But I think I do like the amount of tail that I have going on here. We could put more white on it, but... I think I just like the tip. And that was Sprite. It's this sprite where we got to be working on stuff, so... we'll presume that I did most of the body stuff correctly. But we are going to completely delete this tail. Do. Alright. Say we can, like, get... This goes from being... about, like, 12 wide-ish? No. Hold on. It's, like, 11 wide to... 14 wide. So, like, up to 3 pixels of movement would be a lot, but doable in our thing. So let's consider... I'm just going to use this blue pen. But then let's get, like, way out here-ish. So we get, like, there. And, like, that, maybe? So, like, a lot of big body movement and curl in there, I think, is the play. I really should do that on a new frame. Just call it layer sketching. Yeah, so we'll get the body of it out here. And then in. It's like a big whip in the body, then a flick, and then a curl back. Is sort of our peak animation frames for that. So, let's move the sketching under the layer. Doot. And let's put in at least the beginnings of it here. Let's get an outline going. Doot. Put that on the sketching layer like a doofus. There we go. Oop. But yes, heavy stuff. Trademark. Let's grab the dark pixel color there. So I got to end my week on Friday with my brother contacting me. My relationship with my brother is strained, to say the least, and this situation didn't help it. But for the sake of it, the important part, or the important thing that he had to communicate with me, is that his grandmother died. And I'm saying this specifically as his, because, yeah, she did not like me at all. She's of the type that blood matters more than anything else. I haven't made it a secret or anything, but my dad is, like, my dad. He is not my father, which my father sucks and is perfectly fine. My dad has always been the father figure in my life, so I have no complaints that way. But this was his mother, and she hated me. There's not a sugar-coated way of putting it. She hated my guts. If it were not for my dad, she would have, like, excluded me from taking part in anything. Like, leave me at home, everyone else go have a fun time. Like, and again, this is putting it very lightly. she did not like anything about me. I very distinctly remember, like, and this is a formative memory in terms of her, that was brought to the surface again upon hearing that she was no more. But that I remember, it was kind of recommended that I was starting to get into drawing a lot, which I kind of wish I had picked up on. It would have made stuff like this easier. But I was getting really into drawing, so my dad recommended, like, hey, you know, you should, like, make her a card. Very typical thing you ask of, like, a young kid. I think I might have been, like, 10, 11, 12, that range there somewhere. Actually, if I looked up the release year of Kirby Nightmare in Dreamland, because that was kind of my fixation at the time. Yeah, so 93, my brothers were born. Oh, sorry, 93 was that, not the remake. Do tell. Yeah. Japan, North America, December 2002. So, yeah, I'd have been about 10, maybe 11. Anyway, drew this card, had Kirby in it because that was my fixation at the time. Link hat, because of course. Just because my fixation was Kirby didn't mean I stopped being a massive Zelda nerd. But she looked at me upon receiving this thing that was, you know, a lot of my interests in that. I can only describe it like I was a two-headed dog. Like, I was something aberrant, something that didn't belong. And that is a highlight positive memory when it comes to this woman. In terms of the negatives, I imagine I might get banned on Twitch if I talked about the full details of some of the stuff that she put me through. Like, it was not good, and I was a child. But that is all to say that she hated me. If you see, we doing art stuff. We is doing art stuff and talking about trauma. Talking about trauma, yes. Exactly. That is what we are doing. But yeah. So I got the news that she's dead. My brother did not use her name, or at least the name that I knew her by. He referred to her as grandmother last name. That is never how we referred to her growing up. So I had no idea who he was talking about originally. It wasn't until he explained that it was his father's mom. And I was like, oh, her. To which, like, the most I could say was, like, I know she did a lot for you when you needed it, and I'm happy that she was there. But, like, I'm sorry, I don't have any love lost for this woman. Like, she hated my guts, and, like, formative memory, giving me prescription dog antihistamines for dogs that were about 3 times my weight, rather than let me sleep in a bed. Yeah, like the hate is an understatement on this. Which upset my brother, not for, like, I that was kind of all it is. Like, she hated my guts, so I'm sorry I have no love lost. And his counter was like, her hating you is 100% a lie. Like, he called me a liar over it. Gods, what a witch. Thank you. But yeah, he basically called me a liar over that, you know, this grandmother cared about me. Just a cruel woman. Yeah. But yeah, he called me a liar over it. To which, that kind of, like, sent me into a snapping tizzy. So, Another minor detail about this brother, without getting too deep into stuff, I'm estranged from the family, or I have been estranged from the family for similar, for reasons, partially being trans. A bunch of individuals basically started treating me like shit the moment I transitioned. And the other kind of half of it is like just treatment like this or like that from my mother and from, you know, this person involved. Like, there was no reason for me to be involved in this woman's family because I did not belong in it. It's so much to talk about. Like, I feel bad not saying, like, all of the details, but I kind of have to not say all of the details. Anyway, though, he called me a liar over it, and that was my snapping point where I was like, she did all of this shit, like, the dog meds thing. There was an incident with, she would make me bathe in reused bathwater from my other siblings because they were allowed to have warm baths and I wasn't. So I had to get into like an ice cold, like gray bath to clean myself in. Like it's I it's gross to even try, like, to even remember these things, and I think that someone would have a modicum of it. It took until I was or not an adult, but at least old enough to understand mature, like, she had to get called, like, CPS was called on her like 3 different times involving her treatment of me because my school, after we started staying here with a brief while, could visibly see the problems that were happening. If your school cares to call, it's intense. Deep breaths. So anyway, I told my brother about it, and he basically didn't respond after that. But basically, when I hit of age to be able to at least understand it, my dad did explain it to me. Like, he loves me dearly. He has never treated me as any less. But he had to explain to me, like, yeah, the only thing she cares about is your brothers because she cares about this blood relation. And it was, like, I think it was significantly after the time that I knew he was my stepdad and not my father. Like, it was never something that was told to me. Like, I just didn't know and didn't care. I still don't really care. He's my dad. That is what matters. I'm gonna put the highlight on the swell of the tail here, I think. I think that's gonna be better for the shading. But yeah, so once I was kind of mature enough to understand, he explained it to me, and that was kind of the last time he ever, like, made me interact with her at all. It was just like, you don't have to if you don't want to. You can, like, go. And a little after that, the kind of highlight dramas of my family would end up happening and splitting everything. I would end up leaving, just due to stuff, and kind of slowly get back in. My brother had a similar instance where he felt betrayed by a particular family member, and he also left. So I guess I had kind of the expectation that he might not even empathize, but at least just understand, like, yeah, no, this person was horrible to me, and I'm not gonna feel anything for the fact that she's gone. But no, again, his bit was call me a liar, which, you know, grieving or whatever the case is. And that would be on me. That would be on me. However, what would happen in the subsequent 2 days, or, yeah, because it was 2 days, is, I touched in with my dad, because even if, you know, this woman hated my guts, she was still his mother, and, you know, he's probably going through it. So I touched base with my dad, because I knew my brother wasn't going to kind of get the know-how on it, learned about the no-contact speedrun any percent, exactly. But I contacted my dad over it, just to make sure he was okay. And we kind of talked about the brother situation a little bit. The big part is, essentially, I touched in with my dad, made sure it was okay. Even my dad understood, like, I felt nothing for this woman. If I was doing... And I told my dad, like, if you want me to show up to the funeral, I will. But it's not gonna be to, like, say my goodbyes to this grandmother. It will purely be to be there for you. Because you are my dad, you are my family, and we support each other. You know, like a good family should. So that was kind of the bit end to that. Fast forward 2 days, and my brother still has not talked to me at all. I did extend the same bit to him as well, that even if he wants me to come to any sort of event or anything like that to support him, I will. But, like, it will be to support him. I then also touched in with my dad again later that day. And this is, like, Sunday, so 2 days ago. But I touched in with my dad again, and just to... because he hadn't said anything, just like, hey, you know, still doing okay? How are you doing? Etc. And he essentially informed me of the goings-on with things, which is that my mother has gotten involved. My mother, who... My parents have been separated for... or my dad and my mother have been separated for, like... I want to say since I was maybe 7, maybe 8. So 30 years. Or not really 30 years. I'm not that old, but like math-wise 20 plus years they have not been in each other's lives. However, the drama of the family and my mother sort of taking advantage of things after I left. So I had to leave my dad's situation. The girl he was with and the housing situation wasn't conducive to a teenager. And I got kind of neglected a decent amount. And that's not something... I forgive my dad for it. I was their first teen. However, it doesn't undo that it happened at all. Which, it's rough, but I forgive him. I'm not going to forget that I went through shit, but I do forgive the, you know, quote-unquote involvement he had in it, which was just going through a rough time himself. It happens. Anyway, though. Blarg, blarg, blarg. Forgive but never forget. Exactly. In terms of it, so my mother, from the situation of me leaving, had taken advantage of things. She pushed for custody of my brothers, did not take care of them, just took custody and tried and squeezed my dad for alimony and child support. And the government for child tax credits. When I was living with my aunt at that time, basically for most of it. She had dropped me in, or my mother had dropped me in a homeless shelter as part of, you know, quote unquote taking me over the course of things the moment I hit 18. And my brothers were basically living with this grandmother for the most part, or living back with their dad, or their father, my dad. And my mother was just sponging the entire thing. Like, my mother is an absolute fucking parasite of a human being. And there is no... that is me being kind, to use that kind of language. Because she deserves so much worse. Um, ugh. It's hard to talk about stuff. Anyway, my mother getting involved. Essentially what my dad had to tell me was that... So my dad has been there since Friday when they were taking the body out. Hey fella, you're back for trauma talking. So... Brain. I was gonna do some ear stuff too. And art. Yes, there is art being very slowly done. I think we're gonna flick the ears on the fall and come back up. But anyway, so as my dad said, my mother burst into the situation basically saying that this grandmother was redoing her will. And the not understanding what that means, or to explain what that means, essentially, my mother, not related to this woman at all, extent of, like, this woman hated her too, for the longest time. It wasn't until she got custody of my brothers and basically pawned them off on her, giving her custody, essentially, of the grandchildren she wanted access to, that they have had kind of like a cordial, yes, I still hate you, but you at least give me what I want kind of relationship. But my mother pops in with this supposed extra will because she's trying to take executorship of this grandmother's stuff. And with this, she apparently, with my brothers, also delivered to my dad. She delivered to him, like, a list of material things that the three of them wanted from this house. I do not give a fuck for anything this woman owned. She abused me for years. She treated me as lesser consistently. And I have no doubt in the 15 years since I last had any contact with her that she has not mentioned my name, let alone anything else. But hearing that my brother, who made a huge stink of, oh, she actually did care about me, and my brother's big reason for her caring about me, by the way, was that she got me gifts at, like, Christmas and for my birthday. I do not remember a single birthday gift, but I'm going to trust him on that one. And in terms of the Christmas, because we even told my dad, like I was talking to it with my dad that was the thing. It was like, yeah, the only reason she got me anything was because if she didn't, my dad would have fucking called her out on it. Like, the only reason she involved herself in anything to do with me, or even allowed me to be involved with anything she was doing, like these Christmas dinners, was because my dad wouldn't have let her not. And that is the life I knew of this woman. But my brother made a huge stink of, oh, she actually cared about me, or whatever the case is. And the coroners wasn't even fucking done with the body, and they were giving demands of what material shit they wanted. I have been absolutely disgusted since hearing that on Sunday. So it has been 2 days of, like, seething rage about this, and having to be on. Like, there was my anime day yesterday, and with Saturday, so I've kind of been, like, constantly in on mode, being supportive for people, and still kind of living my life. We also had a MechWarrior game on Friday before I got the news, which was a lot of fun, so I've been socially on for a decent amount of time, and just stewing with the absolute deplorable behavior from, you know, my mother, my siblings. Because in addition to the list of things they want, basically, if my mother doesn't end up getting this executorship, then she has basically said that my brothers will not be showing up to the funeral, and they will be doing their own celebration of life which I worked in a funeral home. I fucking get what all of this shit actually means. It basically means it means my mother is once again using my siblings as leverage. Heaven forbid anything get let go, anyone even like talk about it and then be able to, you know, a man remember the good, like what good times there were with his kids. My mother is a fucking monster. Like, there's not a better I'm an author, and I struggle with words for this woman. She is subhuman in ways that are unfathomable to most people. But yeah, so that kind of leads to now, where I'm still waiting. I told my dad if he needs anything to let me know. Whether it's just, like, if he needs my help for anything to do with, like, the funeral or anything like that, I'm down to help even though it's for someone I don't care about. But also that, you know, it's okay to not be okay, because it's still his mother. It's okay to not be okay, and family are supposed to support each other. It's a two-way street of support for family, not what you can get out of them, regardless of whatever my mother may say or do. And that's been the feelings of the weekend that I've been having to, like, process, and why we started LADX, and I was like, these settings are gonna fucking suck. Because it's just... Oop, not lunes. Alright, so we drop the hands, and the hat's coming back down. Should the tails move in tandem or opposite? I know with tails' tails, they go in kind of an opposite swish, but they are otherwise in tandem. Yeah, they're pretty tandem. So that means I think for this, the other tail probably comes out here. So anyway, yep. Let's get to art and just kind of enjoy ourselves. I think I should always make the back one darker. At least from front angles. Alright, that fixes the tail issue that I wanted. So, with Flare's 2 to 3 lunes, it was like the hair coming back down, a little bit of shading difference. As, like, it emphasized the lower stance. Alright. Let's get rid of this tail, because we're going to have to sketch in a new one anyway. I was gonna say, my keyboard is incredibly hot. Matter of fact, hold on. Yeah, there's a little bit of dust in front of one of the fans. Oh. So we also have to remember we have a fifth frame. This is only 4 frames of animation. Oh no, there's a fifth. Where it flicks back up again. Okay. Nope, this works out. We can kind of follow the reference. I've also decided that after we are done this, I do have to go back in and do Matty as with the hood from Code Vein. So hood up, Hat on back. And doing that. I'm actually going to... What's a color I'm not using? That wouldn't eye bleed people too much. How would people feel about, like, royal blue? Because I think I need a background, just so I can see where missing frames are. Royal blue! I think a little less eye bleed blue. Just a little softer on the eyes. There we go. Yeah, it's a little close to the purple. Actually, I could reduce the opacity of it. Yeah, I think that works. Because now we gotta fill in that... This skirt is extending. I can leave that hole there, I think. There probably will be tail there shortly. Alright, so from our flick, we are at phase 3, which is the full curl. So let me get my sketching layer out. Let's go, like... purpley. Because it makes me happy. Okay, so we need the tail curl, so it'll be maybe a little bit lower. Would it be good? So if we did lower, we'd be like that. Possibly. Because it is another heavy movement down. Yes. Trauma time over. Let's draw. About the jump? Man, I wish I could use my tablet for this. Where do we want the point to be? We don't want the point to move too much. So maybe like there? Like that kind of a curl? Maybe not that low, but... I think that'll be our sketch line. I say, the tail's going to be the biggest thing that needs to move. And then we can focus on the little details. Like, I think we, last time... Yeah, we moved the hat, the first part of the hat back down. We're going to start flicking the ears. And we kind of adjusted the legs to be getting a little bit of shade difference. Which is roughly correct. Alright. Let's go 3 bits of tail there. 2, 1. It's a big move of the tip, but yeah. How much did we move between 1 and 2? Okay, yeah, it's a big move. We can get away with a big move again. Hopefully. Hopefully I don't do all of this sketching in art, and then it's just like, yeah, it's horrible. Great. The nose too high at the apex of its curve. Yeah. I think compared to there, we could probably go a little higher. Like maybe delete that. Art is vibes. Yeah, that keeps the tip kind of close as a movement point. Even though it goes, like, it moves a lot. Alright, I'm gonna be back in a second. I gotta blow my nose. I say, cool, in addition to the electrical outlet, they're apparently not gonna have our HVAC system open, or working for, like, 2 weeks. Awesome. Anyway. Vibes. No. Vibes. Maybe. Alright, let's add the white in. So it's gonna be beep, 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 beep. So like there is where the white is. Yeah, I will admit the playlist info is just kind of randomly tossed on there because I had no space for it. I could like probably afford to move the art down so it's a little more readable, but I don't know. Seems weird to have a lot of space up top. And since some things are too big, I can't just like leave it on the screen area. And you guys walk around the bottom, so I can't put it near the bottom area, so it's just kind of there, TM. Alright. So let's... something like that, maybe? I think we need a little bit more... substance. And then we got big body. Dude. Nope. I think that's just it. And then the other tail probably shows like a little bit here. Just like a dab to imply that it's moving in that area. I think this is, as they say, as good as it's gonna get. With this incredibly harsh movement. Let's shade this sucker. Dude. Dude. Let's get our mid shade. Yeah? What happened to my mid shade? Oh. Oh, I haven't been using the dark shade. This is already the mid shade. That's on me. So if that's the case, then like... set them...
First thing is to get Joey running again.
Ooh. Hello, Binks. Whoop. Alright, apparently it is lap cat time. Dude. Yeah. Let's get just a little bit of like extra depth there. No, that looks a bit more like it has a second edge. Alright, so I think we... Dude. Tails for the tail god! Alright, so next, there would be... Because of how this tail is curved, there should be a, like... semi-line here of, like, where it's folding over.
Welcome back, Joey. Is this
It's
the
like...
best shell you could find?
And then the underside, extra dark. Alright, let's take this out so that it stops mentally doing that. Alright, I think I know how to fix this. I gotta make the tip thicker. Just a little bit, though, not too much. There we go. That's the money shot. Dude. Dude. There we go. Are you a happy boy, Binks? You're in my lap. Yeah. Scratch your cheeks. Alright. So that's our tail done. 2 and 3. I say the hair has one more final fall frame. So let's look at my Lunase frames again. Alright, so there's that little bob up. Doot. Oh yeah, shite. Let's just grab a dark tail color, because it'll be mostly in the background anyway. Fark! There we go. I'm gonna say, what's our next one? Our next one is the down flick. So the tip will be at the edge, or the edge of things, and the body of the tail will be rising back up. Yes, I am a running gag. I think that's pretty extreme movement, though, unfortunately. Like, that's a lot of movement. Especially between the first and second frames. What animation are these frames for? So this is the idle standing pose. And once that's done, we can start actually doing real poses. Because, yeah, there's a lot. Like, there's the single leg stand, I think when you're talking to people. And there's running. It's gonna be a lot. We could just go to Matty Sprite colors. Look, we could just be Ginger Lunase. It'll be fine. But I also don't know what, like, I don't know what Timespinner animates on. I know they're pretty fast frames, but I don't know if it's, like, animating on 4s, so they have 24 frames per second for animation, or if it's, like, 2s and 30. Like, I don't know what the game animates on to know the time between frames. So we're gonna have to do some guessing. Which is, and I quote, fun. We don't want it to be too extreme, but I want them to have, like, a lot of motion. Very swishy. You know what I think might solve it, though? If I just, like, pulled it 1 pixel in, it would probably work. As just being less extreme. Like if I'll try it. Nope. Let's not grab the arm. Alright, I need to control to subtract what's going to bleed over. Let's do that pixel as well, why not? Alright. And then I can just... Alright. There we go. It's still a lot of movement, but it's far less extreme now, just on that one pixel. I think that works. Alright. Let's have the bangs fall down just a tad. Alright, how do we flick these ears? I think we just, like... No. I don't know how to flick my ears properly on this. Because they're so small that the one pixel ends up being a lot. Like, I think the main thing, this line goes to, like, 2s. Like that. And then we fill in like that, maybe. Just a pinch. Yeah, that still looks okay. But does it look okay compared to the prior frame? I don't like how heavy that hair fall is, so maybe we cut one bit there, maybe one bit here. Maybe sort of play this as a shadow. Like shading the face differently. It's just a very minor movement. We don't need a lot. Oh yeah, the tail won't be here anymore either. Oh, it's fine. So there we go. Gonna say the tails are gonna be the major point. So arms, legs, hair is the major for Lunay's. And we've got most of that. The tail is our big money maker shot. Alright, I think this one might be done. Yes, Binks. Chin scratches for you. Alright. New layer. I don't know why I'm doing a new little... Well, actually... So duplicate this. Make it frame 4. Move the sketch layer up for when I inevitably need it. So between 3 and 4, it's like minor shade corrections and kind of like clothing catching up. Okay. So I think we are just 100% stealing the top of frame 1, Matty's head. Like we just steal this real quick. And not grab the top of the tail. Copy it. Hello, Binks. Because I only want the flick to be like 1 frame. Binks, let it go. Binks, let it go. Okay. Binks, stop chewing on the chair. Yeah, that should be fine. I think. Yeah, minor shaded, just estimate. I think it's good. Get the hat back to normal. Maybe I should have done the flick between 4th and 5th frame. No, because it's rising back up again. Okay. So the other major bit. Our next is our flick return. So this frame is the one where we need to... Hi! How you doing? So this is our flick return. So for this one, first we should remove our tail here. Pixel art, you know it. I am an okay pixel artist, and by that I mean I'm pretty good at kind of ballparking and tracing a bit. So for our next tail motion, we need... It's the flick, so... There... And then back? You retired? I don't blame you for retiring, it's not easy. Yeah, so we need to... There's like a flow line of motion. So it goes from there, and then it needs to go... Like... Alright, so this bump is sort of where I've set up for the curve to happen. The Mugen engine? Dang, that brings me back. Not that I ever did anything for Mugen, but... Alright, so I think it essentially needs two lines. It needs a bump line here, and a curve outline there. I think that... I really wish I could use my tablet. Yes, this needs to bump up, and it needs to kind of drag this down with it, so... Checked animation codes, sometimes fix it. Nice. Yes, this is the part of the tail that needs to move for this frame. So yeah, bump there. So this will be pulled and probably be gone. So like that. And then like a little bit more pull this way. Something like that. That makes sense, I think. Let's try to block in the shape. So this is going 3 pixels tops. So it's like here. And... Binks! Not the time to stand up right under my arm. How often do I draw? Generally when I start playing a new game that I want to have a sprite for. So, what we're doing here is Timespinner. So we will have to do the Lune sprite, which is 265 frames. And this is because I like Timespinner, and the randomizer was a lot of fun. So I want to play as me, because I like playing as me. It's actually, if you look at... Actually, I don't know why I tell you have to look at it, because I could just pick up me. See? Look at me! This is the Matty sprite from LADX. Look at the dropper. I can pin her somewhere. Pin her, like, right there. There she is. Little Matty sprite. For Link's Awakening. And I have them for Link's Awakening, I have them for Ages and Seasons, and this is me. This is the first time I'm doing a 16-ish bit game for doing a Matty like this. Tiny Matty will be punished for her transgressions. Yeah, when there's new animation frames for the randomizer, I do it, and like I said, I enjoyed Timespinner a lot. I wanted to make a sprite for it. There's some hope from the dev in that it encourages more people to do the same. So if it's something that you think you'd enjoy, I'd recommend it. Both Timespinner and making sprites for games. It's a fun time. Oft relaxing when it's not like the stress of making sure your keyframes work. Okay, no, this is the first frame where we need to be on full flick. Matty for crosscode. Look at Lee's sprite sheet, it's kind of massive. I mean, you say that, but I'm working on this, which, let's go with 300%. Nope, that's 3,000%. This is, not exactly small. We're gonna be here for a long time. I say, once we get a lot of kind of our key animation ideas done, it'll just be the small movements. We're basically going to be... There's almost an argument to be made, like, once I'm done these 5, like, the standing idle, that I should just kind of pick my keyframes and do all of the keyframes, and then do all of the interim animations between. Because it will be easier to do, like, a full keyframe than to do every bit of animation in order. And then worry about the animation afterwards, because it's a lot of, like, minutia. Yeah, this is the first pull frame. So, no, I need to get rid of that. We can't have this curl continuing. Dude. Maybe like that, I think would be the play. Yeah, I think I just need to swell this out a little bit. Make it look like a coily snake. Or... it doesn't need to go out that far. I think we need to foreshorten. Foreshorten it since it's behind this section. So be like that, 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 that. Like maybe... it's probably about the same number of zoids, yeah. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, it's very likely that the major problem that I'm experiencing is that this kind of hump section needs to be like pulled inwards. Because it needs to have motion coming back towards as well. 1, 2, back 2. Yeah, I think that was the problem. Okay. Dude. The song's a jam. Dude. There we go. We'll widen that a bit. And then we just foreshorten this whole thing. I also think that the tail is moving in 3 dimensions. Yuzo Koshiro. Yeah, I think our through line doesn't move here. I think we erase this sketch and we re-sketch it. So let's work with a color that we're not going to work with, so violet, I guess. So the tail is coming back up, so we're going to make a mistake. So we'll have it here. But I think what we do is we don't change this line. I think we keep that line in there. Just have it, like, pull, because the idea would be it's, like, pulling back towards her anyway. So it needs to already be trying to move back towards her in this phase. We're not the straight side on, we're front on. And then frame 5, it's got to kind of get closer to where frame 2 is. All right. So this is where the body of it is. Got a chunk of body there. And then like this. Follow the line through. Let's talk about the motion of tails, making me feel my phantom tail. Alright, how does that... Let's remove the sketch layer. Oh, it's hideous. Okay. It's not good. Start over. Once we get the general tail motions, though, we should be able to repeat them for most frames, and then just add kind of momentum to them. But yeah, the tail needs to kind of just be moving. What's our 4 to 5? So it's the pull. This is entirely the reel back phase. So we did our flick, and now we're pulling back with 2 frames of animation. Ah! And I say, nice to know about you, Fel. I've spent a decent time around other members of the fairy community and the furry communities. Oh, I'm a hydrate. It's actually really warm in here. I spent a lot of time with it. I actually had I was pulled on as like a speaker at ShifterCon talking about like actualization in like transformation media. However, they double booked me with another like really popular artist. So I'm an author and they're an artist. And the person setting up the panel clearly really wanted to just talk to the artist. So of our like 2-hour panel, I got like the last 5 minutes. And it's just like, I'm super happy that you got to talk to the person you wanted to and you had the person you wanted, but like, why did you put an invite for people who work in this space if you just wanted to have a panel with this one person? Like, yeah. A little dang. Like, it's a part of me is like sad because it was my first like speak at a convention opportunity, and I was like really prepped. I had everything I wanted to talk about planned in that, and then they were already behind, and then had the panel that I was on just like absolutely run late with the person who invited everybody really just wanted to talk to them. Just like awesome. I didn't volunteer to speak at the convention again after that. Alright, we will once again sketch the pullback. So 5 is a mirror to 2. We're on the flick. Or I could make the motion like left and right. Are we working for a left and right motion? Yeah, we could just try to pull it back in left. That could work. So then we can sketch it as... We'll try to make it a small amount of motion or movement. It is the flick, though. Or the reel back. So we'll pull it back in a bit. And then, like, maybe up here. Yeah, I think that'll work. I say, for like the 4th time I've tried to make this work. It's 5 in the row. Baby, I have 0 energy. Yeah, I feel that. I have no, I don't have much energy after this weekend either. Back to the sketch layer. Is it possible to commission me 1 sprite art? Depends on the sprite art you would like. So, I have done sprite work commissions in the past. Generally it's for... where the fuck is it? Generally it's for... this sprite sheet. This is the one that I most work with. And it's like... No, not 1200. So this is generally the one that I work with LADX. And then, like, the Link sprite is generally what people tend to want. Just a standing Yamarokan, something that I work now. So this is what I normally do on, which is like, I think LADX qualifies as 8-bit. No, I think it's 16-bit still. So, and I normally charge like $5 per frame because there's a lot of frames. That said, for something more detailed with more colors like this, I would probably have to charge slightly more. Just simple. making... You want to try it? All of them get corrupted? Eh. Because I don't know how much I would charge for something of this level, though. It's hard to say. And the other the other thing is that I am working off of what is essentially a template. Like, I am working over top of the actual character sprite that I'm working with, which makes a big difference that I have a starting point. If I was trying to, like, draw from scratch, I think I'd cry, because I'm very bad at starting from nothing. Okay. So I need most of the movement to happen at this point in the tail. So, shave this body part off. And then I think as the flick, we keep... Maybe like that? Would be correct? Correct-ish? Yeah, like the last sprite I did. You can find your old sprites unfinished in pose. I don't know if you've joined the Discord. I think I still have a command for it. It's like... Yeah, if you're on the Discord, you can message me very easily. And we could talk about it. My brain's not entirely in it right now, so later, but yeah. Blah. But we could talk about it the Discord. 100 servers, give you a moment. Take your time, I'm in no rush. Yeah, it's something that could be talked about. I think the last sprite that I did for somebody else is right... Oh, I put it... Yeah. So I did the Sig sprite, which they gave me this reference, and we made, or I made, the Sig sheet, which was a whole thing. He actually tipped me very well. I was very happy. Yeah, we worked... There it is. So I can work from reference, just generally I need to have something like I'm aiming for, because autism. I actually remember I really liked the shield that I did for Sig. Made me want to, like... The best part about doing sprites for something is, like, stylizing, giving it that extra little bit of character. Like how I've got the tails going here. Alright. Let's go with... Okay, you joined. Awesome. Lovely to see you. Yeah, just send me a DM sometime. Trademark, and I will get to it eventually. My apologies if it takes a while. Like I was mentioning at the beginning of the stream, there's a whole funeral thing going on that is looking to be the typical kind of drama that my family gets up to. You're tired, your brain is low? Alright. Rest well. Yeah, no, I don't think it... think I need to lose this tip. But I do still need the tip. So I think I need to do like do something like that. Try on my stream. Much appreciated. I always like having people around. It's a fun time. Give it a little bit of swell this way. No, it would still be pointing the other way. Just based on kind of the perspective that we have. All right. Alright, let's see how this feels. How does that feel as a motion? Not for today? Alright. Not for today. Dude. Okay. There's always one awkward sprite. There's gotta be. Maybe I just pull the tip closer. Like, cut, paste. I already like it more. That said, aesthetic eye is subjective. Okay. Back home. There we go. Yeah, that does not help at all. I remember I was working at a place for the longest time where I had to bus in, and they kept wanting me to like work hours when the bus didn't run, and I'm like, I can't like not go home. I do not care about this company enough to not go home for them. I feel like that pixel. Is there even such a thing as loving a company? I mean, so according to how I have to file my taxes, my writing is a company, and I like that. So I think there's at least liking my job. It is 6 by 9. 54. Did you mean 6-7? God, that hurt me to say. 42 is the Gen X 6-7. It basically is. They even multiply. 6 by 7 is 42. Like, it is actually... There is correlation. Is it causation? Probably not, but it's there. Alright. Random letters for a bag only gets the sentence. What do you get if you multiply 6 by 9? 6 by 9, 42. That's it. That's all there is. I always thought something was fundamentally wrong with the universe. Alright. Time to look at the other 3 to 4 frame thing. So the hat fell down? Did I do that correctly? Yes, the hat has fallen back down. Gotten its shading. So kind of clothing stuff settles. So let's go. Frame there. Frame there. Gen Z, Gen X. Alright, so the hands, for me, will not change because of them being big. Did I change the hands between sprites 2 and 3? No, I just moved them down. Didn't do any other major changes. Maybe I should curl the fingers in. I'm gonna blow my nose again. I'll be back in a second. Alright. Yeah, I think we curl the fingers in, lift, and then they'll return in frame 0 or frame 1. So, like, grab all of this. As like a start. Ooh, lyrics. We like lyrics. Dude. Oop. I think we're just gonna have to freehand this. Oop, not the tool I want. So, thinking like that. Dude. Probably cut this in two. Alright, this probably works. I need to fill this in again. Like, extra one there. Like that. And 4 to 5, everything rises back up again. Including hands. So let's duplicate that. Get number 5. Rip the tail off, because it's going to get in the way. Alright, and then it's all of this. Actually, where did we cut off between sprite 1 and 2? Okay, there was an extra waste frame before. That's where we're going back to. So grab all that. Grab this hand. Alright. Gotta fill some stuff in, but we should be fine. This Matty up to today's spriting. Save note is cheating! As I speaking of, I haven't got attached to anything, but the server's seen it. But a new tool was made to do these things, and this is just super fun. Cheating! It's so fun. I haven't done anything with it yet, though. I kind of wanted to get the sound effect, but finding an MP3 of the sound effect just was not turning out. So, unfortunately, just kind of let it slide or sit. Alright. Okay, so we're gonna grab this belt line. Got it in one. Dude. Merge down. Dude. One of the panicked Matty squeaks. it's like cheating. It could work. I'll consider it. At least. These. Dude. Okay, there's like a lot of shading stuff that changes as well. Shading kind of thins closer to frame 1 again. Alright. I kind of want to dip the hat again. Maybe the bow? How'd the weekly go? I'm in last place. I had to stop and deal with Binks a few times, and it was yet another one of find random instrument, go, which are my least favorites, so I didn't expect to do well. Yeah. Well, it's fun in AP. It's also like there's situations where I wouldn't mind it. It's just that these are presented as a race thing, and as a race thing, I don't think random instruments are fun. Like, I really don't think random instruments are fun when you're trying to, like, race and show that you like, demonstrate your skill. I just, it's very not conducive to that. I can remember random check 2, 3, 1. Yeah, pretty much. And again, race situation, so it's just like, check everything. Oh, like, it's... Hopefully the day isn't too terrible for you. You're worried about shenanigans. Yeah. Yeah, there's things I'm worried about, but not enough that it's affecting my day that much. Change a little bit of hat. Dudes. That said, my tummy is aching a little bit, which is not a good sign. Dudes. Alright, so jump back up. Okay. So now we just need the last flick of this tail. Just the Amazing Tunes and Gradius. Dudes. Alright. And our last tail frame, which is the, like, hyper flick back. And it's between these two, so... Let's go with something like... Just bright-ass red. That inner curve, because we've done the big flick. And, like, this needs to super come in. Like that, maybe? No, it needs to come in a lot more. Yeah, it basically needs to start disappearing behind her. So we just, like, cut all of this off, maybe? Probably most of that, too. And then just, like, hug it close. Yeah, I think that's it. My fave Bonkle set? Fuck. I didn't actually have that many Bonkle sets. I guess... so my Bonkle experience... Like, the original Toa... And then... The ball guys... And the tall ones with the spears. That is how much Bonkle I got into. So, I guess of those three, like... The ball guys, no, not the spiders. These guys, they were like the first big enemy that was in the Bionicle series. They had the, like, disc hands, and they could curl into a ball, and their, like, play feature was, like, squeezing the back, and it would make the head, like, jump forward like a cobra bite. Yeah. And honestly, their play feature was pretty fun. I guess it would be them. The bow rock? There we go. The bow rock. Spear guys came much later, though? Like, no, weren't they, like, the Raksha or something? They were really skinny. Like, and they had worms in their heads. was like their big thing. And they had like spines along. Yeah, the Rakshi. There we go. Look, I know I'm trans. I have to know a little bit about Bonkle. Those were staffs. They had blades on them. They can legally be spears. Calling out my medieval weapon knowledge. How dare. Alright, can try to, like, block this tail in. Dude. Bonkle's a trans thing. You guys are cis then? I guess you are, cis girl Tenki. So, there's a whole story behind Bionicles being, like, really popular among trans people. And the big thing that it points out, especially with the, yeah, they're an icon with trans millennials. The big thing that someone pointed out, though, is that, the Bionicle lore, especially with the Golden Mask movie, I think it was, is, like, very trans-coded in terms of, like, something is wrong, I don't know what. Oh, self-actualization by putting this mask on and going from little guy to actualized final bit. So, I get it. It's just something that was never super, like, it wasn't one of the things that I was super into. I liked them growing up, and then just kind of fell out of them pretty quickly. Being in denial about one's identifying as it, yes, that is also true. Bionicles are super trans. The villain dead names the protag. True. So true, bestie. Shit's horrible. That's why you want to kick their ass. So as Bonkle, Noob, I guess. Programmer socks. I need new programmer socks. I used to have a few different pairs of, like, really fun socks. Fun, stripy socks. They didn't have cats on them, though. And now I got Binks. Like, I gotta get cat socks for Binks. How else will, you know, anyone know I'm his mom if I don't have cat socks? Alright. I really don't like that flick. I think... Can we salvage it? Yeah, I think if we just take the whole thing, like, down one and in one. Down one. And then, like, take all of this. in one. It's a little better. Just needs to be. We gotta get the volume back on our luscious tail before it's too late. Maybe just like a little that. A little bit of volume. And then we're gonna do something a little experimental, but it should work out here. And not experimental with the sprite, but experimental with like seeing how well it holds up. I think we remove one here. Yeah. Getting the shape of this frame is rough. Dude. My avatar is working again? Not really. So here's the big thing. This is the program kind of running it raw, which it doesn't have a lot of, like, the bounce of my ears is gone. They used to, like, kind of flop up and down, and the breathing that I had animated in. As well, if I hit the edit button, stuff gets fucky. Like, things are not on the correct sides. I can't actually do stuff, and it's like flashy and nonsense. I don't know how much of that is showing on stream right now, but yeah, because I'm cropped out. But earlier you could see the flashiness. I can't edit any sprites with the program right now. So the base avatars kind of work. Also, all of the quick keys for like removing binks or my glasses aren't working. So lots of stuff's not working. I left an issue with the GitHub on it, but with 10 months of not being updated, I'm guessing it is also abandonware, but at least it's almost working better. It also can't save any settings for reasons. No removing binks, just like in real life. Truth. Okay. Alright, time for something experimental. We're gonna delete this. We don't need the various lunases anymore, and if I need them, I know where to find them. Alright. We are going to file, export this as a GIF. Yes. With a terrible name, because I don't care that much. Loop forever, 20 milliseconds between... Surprised how it suddenly broke. Yeah. My best guess is it's some sort of Windows update has created an incompatibility, because I'm not the only one that experienced it. Alright, this is going to be really small. Alright, let's see if this works out. Let's grab an image. GIF show. Dude. Beep pictures. Sorted sprite, Timespinner. Whoa, okay, we've made it a little bit fast. How does it? It's very up there in the corner. All right, let's cancel that. Let's export it with more frames between. Replace. Probably like 60 milliseconds. Be accurate. Yes, the Matty Shiggy. There's probably specifics to the thing, but I just need to make sure that the frames look nice between each other. And this is the best way that I can think to do it. Alright. Alright, chat. Thoughts? I think the hands are fine with the little, like, bob. That's not the correct frame speed. Our tail is definitely wiggly. And I think all of its wiggle frames work well. It's kind of fast. It is fast. It's definitely too fast for the game. It's a little too fast. Like, it's not. We're not here to make the GIF good. All right, fine. Be that way. I will hide that. Go back in. I'm gonna export it again, even slower. You feel like the waist should move up and down a bit too? It doesn't in the game. That is the thing. The fingers are twitching a lot. What? Change color? No, it's a tail. Alright, let's make it 120 milliseconds. That's animating on 12s? No. That would be animating slightly under 10s. Or slightly under 10 frames. No, it's animating on 12s. Alright, better? That should be slightly closer to the frame speed of the game. Looking clean. The one finger on the left hand is twitching too much. Okay, when you're saying left hand, are you meaning... Hold on. You guys can see my cursor in GIMP. This hand or this hand? Her left? Okay, so the one that's closer to the camera. Honestly, it looks like she's flicking to the beat. I think it's that it's a heavier flick, because I think the frames are the same. Unts, unts, unts. I think the hat, yeah, the hat's got a bounce to it. The hat movement seems a little random to me. Form is good. Alright, so let's highlight... Alright. Let's go into the program. I should probably dual screen. Actually, I can just open the GIF in its own thing for me to look at, rather than looking at my thing. The GIF. Put it on my big screen. Alright, so let's look at what I don't like. Alright, I'm not keen on... Or where do I want to improve here? So let's get a new layer for redlining. So... And per proper redlining, we gotta make it red. So redlining... I like kind of the relaxed bit of the backhand, but there is, I think, a little too much animation around that hand. So that's a point of focus. I don't like the jitter around this section of the hair. So that's something to fix. I think the tail is working in terms of, like, having a lot of movement. I think the sort of kind of knee area where I flicked away the color needs to go. How do I feel about the hat bounce? Chat, how do you feel about the hat bounce? I think definitely there needs to be a little bit more movement around here. Or, like, instead of just the edges, I need to, like, animate the whole brim of the hat. Oh, anything else you guys would say, chat? Other than those 4 areas? Don't know animation vocab to explain your thoughts. Well, rather than trying to explain thoughts on it, just like, is there a part that is telling your brain no? Like, something is wrong. I can figure out what's wrong, as long as I sort of sense the identity of it. The hat feels too rigid? Yeah. Alright. So, I think you've got the same bit as me, is like the hat Probably this whole section needs to have some, like, motion to it. Maybe, like, a wave that moves along it as she's going up and down. I should be taking notes. I've still got an hour and a half, so we'll be working on some of this stuff, but... The pointy bit? Huh. Alright, so more hat animation. Pointy bit too stiff. Pointy bit too stiff. So we need to loosen that up. Rim needs more motion, especially considering that it's the, like, stand-in for hair here. Hair a bit jumpy. Left hand movement is extreme. Knees are weird. Need consistency. I think the tail's working at least. I think that's everything, just those 5 kind of issues. I might want to take, there's a... Alright, let's go to one frame that I do know has something that's a little bit much. And that's... this frame. I should just remove that section of tail. That's not necessary. It's causing issues. Because the tail isn't that far that way. The illusion, the, like, small illusion of the tail when it's flicking all the way that way, I think is good. But the other one was a bit too much. Alright. I have to pee, so I'll be right back, but then we're going to start the process of getting the red line stuff done. I say, sort of the downside of pixel animation versus regular animation is, if something's wrong, you have the option of full unit or nothing. There is no in between. You can't do, like, fractions of units or, like, smaller bits of motion. You just have what you have. But alright, so... let's hide that. You don't need any more chat. Let's go through our list. So get rid of the red line. Layer. Doot. So that's the one with the knees. So that frame, we need to fix the knees on. And I think we do it by just taking the idea that I had out of them kind of popping up a bit. So I think we just toss that back in there. And redo that. So that'll fix that issue. I think the pixel in the waist is fine. Actually, I should remove it from this frame. Dude. Just that the legs kind of split again. Alright. So let's look at the movement of our left hand here. Because our right hand's good. I see what's happened. Okay. So I had already curled the fingers in, and then I did it twice. So what I need to be doing is... that curl is fine. I need to go back to our first hand. Let's go take our first hand. Grab it. Copy. Second hand is good. Third hand is good. It's this one, where we changed it for number 4. We went the wrong direction. Just gotta put it back. Dude. Dude. And here. Merge down. The hat's going to be the rough part to do. Dude. Okay. So I need to look at the hair between the frames. Why do I have a problem with it? Because it changes every frame. I think the biggest thing, if I just... Okay, so it changes between these frames. I think if I just leave this frame as is. So just keep that little bit of motion there, but lose most of it. Alright, that is theoretically everything but that. We fixed the knees, we fixed the hand, and that might fix the hair. So let's take a moment. Let's close that. Export it again. It should keep the information, so we don't have to redo it. And then there we go. That fixes the hands up for sure. And the legs look much better. The hair could do without the one flicky frame, which is this one. Just accept it being darker for the whole time. That pixel was bothering me. It's slightly too much variance. Alright, and then it is time to hat. Matter of fact, we could just leave it on. There we go. I could consistently export to this GIF now. So we can leave it, like, next to it. So you guys can see progress as I go. Doot. Alright. I need to do another small fix, which is to make this pixel consistent through these animations. Just because of the shading change. That should work. Yeah, there we go. Smooths it up nicely. Alright, time to fix this hat, though. Also might be worthwhile to add, like, a little bit of motion to the ribbon. I think the ear flick is good. Okay. But I think similar to the fact that we had the freehand... Let's assume this is our correct default. Dude, back to redlining. Beep. So I think we're gonna have to reshape the hat every frame. So going to number 2. We're falling, so we're going to redline. The new line of motion has to be trying to come down. And because we're moving down, I want this to pull up and this to pull up. Which means we likely need to pull all through here. From second to third frame, things should start to settle. So, new layer, and more redlining. At which point then, if we're keeping this kind of a static section under her ear, so then we should have this part go down, but this part stay up. And same here. We should start kind of moving down while going up. Then new layer. From 3 to 4, we are still. So that's where we should bring this down again and this down again. And then finally, we are popping back up for our last sprite. So new layer. So this will have this fall down and this fall down, but it can't be too much that it doesn't fall us back to neutral. Alright, so where are our heavy downs? So that's a heavy... Yeah, that's... So frame 2 is a heavy up. It might be able to also be one where we, like, pull the bow in a bit. But I think the bow shouldn't do much. Like, and then it should... For number 3, as things are falling down, it should already be falling down. And then back to neutral. And then the last bit, it should have a little bit of downward pull here. Alright. Yeah, we're basically gonna have to animate the hat like the tail, which is fine. So that's gonna have to likely a dip to slightly lower, and then try to pull back up, and then back down again, maybe? We're scribbling on a lot of stuff. Hello, Binks. All right. So if we're committed to the neutral sprite 1, sprite 2 is our drop. And we are going to take the hat, Binks, stop. Copy it. No, this is not the hat I should be copying. I should be copying this hat. Copy our default hat. Binks, do it again. Don't encourage him. He's incorrigible. All right. Dude. Binks. Stop. I love you too, Binks. He is Lapcat now. We have 1 hour to animate this hat. But hey, we're getting there. So, let's look at our redlining. We want Binks, stop. Binks, stop. So first thing about Matty sprite copy. Layer. Layer boundary size. Nope. Think this is gonna work properly. I think I'm gonna have to like masking. Merge this down so that I don't have boundaries on the layer. Alright, we're gonna need to go in. Psst, Binks, stop it. We gotta delete everything that is not hat. Because hat is what we're working with. Hat is what we're working with. Hat is floppy. Binks, stop. Alright, so got a sketch layer. So, with our lovely sketch layer, we're going to try to leave the part above her ear normal. But then, this is our heavy drops frame, so... Oh. Bounding box. Doot. Alright, so we do this. Something like that as the through line. But it's gotta like come up a bit. Because it's floppy. And then something like that. We will flop. We will have flop. And then this sort of has to have a curve to it. But we basically got to redraw the tip of the hat each time. So it should have a through line like that. Which then should have more of a shape like this when it's coming out. Because it should be trying to lag behind. All right. Dooch. And then the bow is trying to fall, so it should like stretch up a little bit. Probably not too much. Like a pixel would be fine. Yeah. Alright, let's lower the opacity on the sketching layer so that I have a general idea of what I want to work with. Because this is our free to erase hat. Alright, so now let's grab our dark purple. I said let's grab our dark purple. Let's erase everything that's not going to be on that line. Or that's not in our new line. To clean it up. Alright. Doot. Let's draw our new line in. Doot. Okay. That's going to make those dark. Doot coming in. Let's delete that. Delete that. Delete that. Yeah, the core of the hat should be fine. Alright, let me freehand this. So in it goes. Maybe a little bit higher. I think it should be fine. Alright, and then just that light bit on the bow. Oh, it's supposed to be the other way around. Maybe raise the bow a little bit. Just like it's getting pulled in. Alright. New rim. Probably show a little bit more of the outer edge there. Something like this, maybe? You know, I think because of the pull this way, we should actually erase this and have it just showing that and have the line reappear as it's falling back down again. Dooch. Maybe delete that as well. With the bow kind of tucking. I feel like shape-wise this needs like a little bit there. Dooch. Dooch. that down. Why are we not working here? That was weird. I don't know. I think that's too wiggly. Let's try again. So it should be about 3 thick. And how long? Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 3 by 6. Brain. Okay, let's get a copy of my original hat again. Down. Oh. I have moved it to the wrong spot. Oh. Sounds Zelda-y. Maybe I just flick it at the ends? Alright, let's go to Sprite 2. Let's put our new hat on. Which is to say, let's delete that. Merge it in. Let's part her hair a bit. Okay, it's jumping a little too much. Yeah, we need to, like, take these frames out. Maybe something like that. No, that one was fine. All right. Did our new sketch do it? I think we limit the tip's movement. I think we move the tip in the next frame. Alright, so let's delete this layer. Actually, just move that one up because it's the sketching layer. The redlining layer can go, though. Alright, now we have to maintain this ear. Okay. So let's grab for a new mask. Dudes. Okay, grab all of this. Just get the ears. Copy. Paste it onto the mask. So that the bow can return to normal. I think I took a little bit too much. All right. Whew. Okay. So let's take this, bounce it down to catch up. Especially with the ears. And then I think we, like, just do that again right here. Give it a kind of extreme bounce, like the tails have. Merge down, and then blend it a bit. So, like, grab this. And, like, lighten the color a bit. Okay. Should also delete most of the face. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We are on sprite 3, so 3, 4, 5. It's like 3. 3 would make sense. 2. Let's go 1, 2. 3. Is this Phoenix, right? It is! Took me a minute, and I was just like, damn, I'm jamming. I want to be finding stuff. Alright. And that's 2, 3, 4 frames, so it's like 1 or 2 tops that I do here. Oh no, 5's the rising one, so I need to do one more. So if I like grab this and pull it down. Actually, let's show a bit of the curve around there, because it is still supposed to be pulled up. All right. Let's remove that and merge this down. Okay. Take the sketch layer up here in case I need it. More redlining. Okay, what's the red line for this one say? It's... yeah, more down here. And then this is the up one. Yeah, that's the one where it's going to be more down. Okay. This is about where we should be back. At least around the rim. So we should actually just grab this again. Copy. Dude. Is it already normal hat here? I think it is already normal hat here. Alright. Well, if that's already normal... Hmm. Okay. Move the sketch up here. Do a little bit more. Is there anything at the back? No, I didn't do anything at the back. Let's pull the back down a bit then. Do that. Just like the smallest pull, because this isn't a massive amount of movement. Alright, let's delete these. Let's export it. And... well, the hat's floppy. But the tip's jumping all over the place. Alright, I think I removed the last frame I did. I think I maybe, like, take one frame from each. So this one be like one more this way. Like I just went a little too extreme on it. But the idea is correct. Dude. Okay, I need to adjust that line. It's almost there. This pixel needs fixing though. Right there. That needs fixing. Okay. So I think we take one more there. And then we do a little bit a little bit of purple there from the edge. And then fixed TM. Slightly better. Needs a little bit more finagling. The back of the hat's looking good, though. Ugh. I think the flip just maybe is too intense. I think we just, like, thin it a little bit. Still keep it harsh, but... Dude. Oh, I think I'm running out of juice today. We have been streaming for 5.5 hours, so it makes some sense. I do want to get this done for today, but I don't think we're gonna manage it. The hat's a lot of finagling, and I just don't have the energy for it anymore. We put kind of all of our animation energy into the tail working. So I think that will probably be it for today. I need to, like, stretch. Understandable. So it looks like it takes so much focus. It really does. It's a lot of, like, little details, and I can only see it after exporting it, like how it all flows. Animation is fun like that, and the program I'm using in GIMP is not the best for, like, demonstrating animation. Like, we're getting there. We are definitely getting there. But yeah, the front flap, not working great. We're gonna need to fix a little bit of the bow. The body, at least, is definitely working today. Like, we've got good body energy, for sure. But the hat is... See, the hat is something that I did from reference originally, and I do kind of want it to still be the one that we have for our sub emote. But it is very, like, stylized and stiff. So getting it to actually work is kind of what's presenting the issue. Is I think I need to get some reference material on how hats bounce. I think is going to be the big thing. Like, we faked the back enough, definitely. But the front is floppy. It's very floppy, and it's, I think, a little too much movement compared... Like, The tail is a lot of movement, but the tail is something that's living. The hat is something that should only be reacting, not moving on its own. Which is, I think, the big kind of animation aspect that comes to it. So in terms of it, thank you for coming out. Next stream, Thursday, we'll have Code Vein 2. You gotta love it. Where we will be probably finishing the game, maybe not. I'm going to be checking for side quests and, like, doing stuff. And then next Tuesday, we will have the LADXR race, and probably just straight back to doing this, actually. I don't have anything else planned for a post-LADXR thing right now, and I want to work on this sprite. It's something that is fun for me, and it's... like, it is partially work, but it is something that's fun to share with everyone. And it's not going to get done if I don't do it. So, it's something to do. If you want to look forward to more of me doing art, look forward to it then. But until then, I will be signing out, and I will see you later. Right. Actually, let's very quickly... No, just me streaming. Alright, I'll see you later.